everybody, I'm Tanya and welcome to Soul Good Food. Today we are going to be cooking collard greens, which is the #1 staple in an African American family. And I'm sure some others now, but back in the South, collard greens all the way. We had them all the time. So I'm going to show you how we prepare those. And this is going to be a two-part video because I'm going to also show you what else we're having for dinner that's also very good. So this is what we're having. Now I bought Glory today because they're already chopped and they're already washed. However, I'm going to wash them again. Always wash your greens because it's always some kind of dirt and stuff, and I don't feel safe unless I wash them. But they're already cut up and they're already ready to go. So I'm going to have a bag of these, and that's good. Now the base of the greens we're going to make, this is like the main part of the dish. Without this, you might as well boil your greens in some regular water. This is where your flavor comes from. So this has already been boiling. It's coming to a boil now. And one of the things that we have in here, we're going to put in here, is smoked turkey. Now, of course, my grandmother never used smoked turkey, and they never used a whole bunch of that stuff. So they used fat back and salt meat and all those kind of things. But to me, now that I'm older, I feel like they give it a little bit, they make them a little bit greasy to me. So that's why I use turkey, smoked turkey. Now you got turkey wings, turkey necks, and then turkey drumsticks. The drumsticks to me have more flavor. They have a stronger flavor, I guess because it's dark meat. And that's a lot more fattening, is the dark meat. So I use the dark meat. Now the water, you put the water in and you season your water. I like to season my water. Now you can use any kind of seasoning you want, but remember, back in the day, all they used was salt and pepper. Now they make them all busy and fancy with thyme and rosemary and all of that. I don't want that. So what I'm using, I used some Lawry's seasoning salt, or you can just use plain salt. I just used Lawry's seasoning salt, and I used some pepper. Now the thing is with the pepper and collard greens, be careful how much pepper you use. If you love things just peppery, then okay. But a lot of pepper will change the texture and not the texture, but the taste of your greens. So if you like a lot of pepper, like I said, throw it in there. Whatever you like seasoning wise, just put it in there. But this is the basic Southern style, okay? So that's what we're making today. So now I have this all ready to go. And now you can cut the turkey thigh up, or you can leave it whole. For sake of time, I'm going to just throw it in there whole. And then you just want to cook it until it falls off the bone. I mean, literally falls all the way off the bone, which would be about an hour and a half, maybe 2, depending. But you can come back and check it and see how long. But it does take a little while for it to get to its, falling off the bone. So we're going to get to that part, and we're going to let that boil and get ready. And then as soon as that's done, we're going to come back and get to the next step. Okay guys, now we're back and our turkey is done. Okay, so there you see our turkey is very, very tender now. It's falling off the bone. And this is how you want it to be. Okay, that's how you want it to be. Now, these are the bones, of course. Now, of course, don't throw those away yet, because they still do play a part in the finishing up of these collard greens. Now, once your water is done boiling and you've taken the turkey out, it should kind of look like that. Sorry about the steam. But see how cloudy and all of that? That's nothing but flavor. That's how it should look. Okay, so now we're getting ready to put the greens in. Now, mind you, you don't need a whole bunch of water, because when you rinse the greens, they have a lot of water on them. So you really don't need a lot of water. Okay, so let's add the greens. Alright, now we're going to add the greens into the pot. Now I have the greens over here, and like I told you before, they have a lot of water on them already from me washing them and everything. So you don't need a whole bunch of water, like I said. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to take, and it looks like a lot, but it's kind of like, it's like spinach and all those leafy vegetables that when you boil them, they boil down to nothing. Okay, so I'm going to add this first little layer here. And then I'm going to put some turkey back in. And you don't want to add too much because you don't want it to be just meat. So you want the greens to be the the star of the show. Now I'm just putting a little bit back in here, and I'm going to put a bone in right in the middle. So we're going to layer that right there because that bone still has a lot of flavor in it. We're going to take the bone out in the end, trust me, but just for now. And then we're going to put the rest in. And I don't start seasoning them and stuff until they wilt down some and get all in the juice that's already in there. And then that way you know what you're working with. Now then you want to take your bone and you want the other bone and put that in, and then put a little bit more of the meat in. Okay? A little bit more of the meat in. And you don't have to make it all pretty and special. Just throw the meat in there. It'll be okay. And we have a little bit left, but that's for my puppy. So, who's sitting here watching me make these for you because she can smell it. So we're going to just pour this out. I'm going to just pour that out. And then I'll show you what it looks like once you have all the greens and everything inside. Now the key with greens is you want to cook them low and slow. Okay? And so we're going to cook these probably about an hour till they're tender. Some people like to put a little vinegar in theirs or some crushed hot pepper for a little bit of heat and all that stuff. I don't really do all of that. I take it the old school way, and I'm going to show you that a little bit later. But now let me just show you what the greens all look like in the pot. Okay, so that's the greens all in the pot with a little bit of meat, and they're going to cook all the way down. So there you have that. And then we're just going to let them cook for about an hour, hour and a half or so. And I have my temperature on my oven at like a 4. So it would be roughly around a medium high or a medium low, somewhere right in there. But not quite medium. So we're going to leave this down, but I'm going to bring it to a boil a little bit first, and then I'm going to turn it back down just to get that juice together. All right, guys, I'm back, and we are dealing with these greens, okay? Here go our good old greens, and our bone, they have started to boil. See that? Started to boil, and they've sweat down a whole lot. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stir them up a little bit. Okay. Now what you can do, just to try your seasoning, to see if you need any more or something at this point, you can just take a little bit of the juice right there and taste it. And they are perfect. They have just enough salt, just enough everything. So we're going to go ahead and let this finish cooking, and then I will see you when they're done. Ready? Okay. Okay. Here we're back, and our greens. Look at that, guys. Look at that. And you see inside of there? You see all them greens? All them greens we put in there. You remember all them greens we put in there? Well, that's what it yielded. See how they cooked down into nothing? Well, this would be enough for me and my husband for the night and tomorrow. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go old school on you. So I told you we're going to add a little bit of heat because I like a little bit of heat. So we are going to add just a little teeny bit of crushed red pepper. Just a little bit. Okay. But then I'm going to take it back all the way old school. And you're going to put a little hot sauce in it. And that's how we do it. We're going to stir that up real good. These are done. So I've turned them off. Ah, you can smell it. And it's Sunday in my household, and we're getting ready to get it in. And then, as soon as I get everything together, I'm going to go ahead and plate it up for you guys, and you'll be able to see what our Sunday dinner is looking like. Okay? I'll see you in a little bit.